All right, welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. I am your host, Supreme King. Join with me, as always, is my co-host, and his name is.
It's your guy Omazes.
All right, I just forgot. I was supposed to say this is episode 148.
Hey,
Yes, 148 episodes. I don't know why all of a sudden. Sorry about that, y'all. All of a sudden, I just got like a scratchy throat or something. As soon as we get started, how about that? But anyways, um, yes, welcome to another episode of the show. Probably going, burn through this really quickly. How you doing today, man? How you doing?
a little under the weather, but managing. If I
Under the
randomly
weather.
pause, it's because I'm coughing.
I ain't gonna do that. Y'all gonna have to hear every last bit of it. Y'all gonna have to hear that, man. All right, let's get started with Mr. Shawn Layden. I actually want to just address him first, because we ain't got too much news really. But I guess he been in the news lately. The dude been in the news every now and then, But he been in the news where he was mentioning that game prices should increase every generation. Um, Now, if anybody doesn't know, Mr. Shawn Layden was, I believe, head of PlayStation, or at least like on Jim Ryan level at some point, right? Herman Host level at some point, and then
Hmm.
they threw him up out of there at one point. I don't know what happened, but he was the most popular guy at one point because he was there around the time PlayStation was considered cool, like cool, right? In the golden years, but he hasn't been there in a while. I do think he's still in gaming a little bit. I believe his name is attached to Tencent. Um, but he believes that we should pay more and continue to pay more. And I don't know how you feel about paying more for the sake of paying more every generation. Just every generation a price increase.
It's always funny that it's the person who makes the most money who feels like everyone else should pay them more.
Yeah,
Like,
I
this
just
dude's
also
trash.
find it to be
Like,
weird
what do you need
because
more money for?
yeah, what do you need more money for? But at the same time, it's like the dude been out of the game technically for a minute. It reminds me of like Eric Bischoff from wrestling. It's like you always got this opinion. You've been gone for years.
Yep.
Like,
And these opinions is why you going and up out of there. Like, it's so stupid to me. Like, I don't know. We're already complaining about the high price for games. Again, it's not like developers or anything are out here getting the money. It's going to the bosses, and then they shut everything down, right? And they close all the studios. And we already keep saying how like these developers ain't getting what they should be paid. They don't get paid more, even though they should. So it's not like increasing the prices is actually helping the people that worked on the game. It's only helping people like him. So of course he wants us to pay more because he wants more money in his pocket.
yeah, they don't pay their crew. Funny enough, like we've seen studios where basically the teams did good. They didn't even do bad, but then the bonuses and increases go to the top of the food chain anyway, and those guys get cut anyway. And so it's like, dude, like for me it's weird because like if I had a job that I wasn't at for over 10 years, I don't feel like I would speak on that job no more. I would just move on. I feel like I would be
Yep.
in a whole other thing. Like the people don't know, like at some point I had a job at Best Buy for like a really small amount of time, like well over 10 years ago, right? Like a really long time ago. But I don't feel like I need to speak on their financials every other day. I don't talk about them every other day. I still might shop there every now and then, but I don't feel like I need to talk down on them about how they treat their employees or whatever it is. And I like
But
maybe
on
they
top
have
of
some
that,
bad stuff, but it's like it's none of my business no more. You know what I mean?
right,
Like I
but on
move
top of that
on.
too, you worked at like Best Buy, but you weren't out here. You're not out here like talking about what they need to do to fix the Geek Squad or something like that, because you didn't do anything with the Geek Squad. And this dude, you didn't do. You're like you're not doing stuff for the like developing of games or working on anything like that, and you're just saying it needs to cost more. Like, no, you don't have an opinion on this.
Yeah, I could see if he was like Hideo Kojima, is that his name?
Right.
Like he's at least actively there. You know, like when you hear his name, it rings bells. Like, oh, here comes a game. When you hear Shawn Layden, it's like, okay, he probably, he was in management at some point. But it's like, dude, at this point, with your name value, why haven't you created a studio? Why haven't you, you know what I mean, done something like that? If that's the case, like, you're in gaming for the wrong reasons. It's like, I don't think you're necessarily needed. Like, you could come around and be like, Game Pass is not sustainable or whatever. You could say all these things, but it's just like, by the time Game Pass came around, you were already gone. Like, dude, like, like just move on. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But
he is. You'll be disrespectful. True.
I just feel like, dude, like I just feel like I wouldn't talk about my old job for the rest of my life anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's like his soul belongs to the job or something. I know it's like older wrestlers kind of do that. Like almost every older wrestler had a podcast, right? Ironically, I say that while doing this, but it's just like I don't feel like I would speak on a particular place that much over time, but not go out of your way. Like I don't feel like he's going out his way to help. In so many years that he said something, like he's put down industry leaders and different particular, both PlayStation and Xbox really on certain things, but I don't see him helping. I haven't heard his name in recent years where he's done something where he's gone out of the way to help the industry. It's always just he's got something, snarky to say about the industry. And that's just me. That's just how I feel, But if you really want to go there, the games have already increased for this generation, so you trying to ask for more increases seems silly, because that even contradicts your own statement, because there wouldn't have been a need for an $80 title, because we introduced the $70 title for this generation. You know what I mean? So I don't know why he's contradicting himself a little bit. Like,
yep.
Yeah. But that's really it. At least for him, I don't really need to take too long on Mr. Shawn Layden. I just feel like if you're going to continue to say so many things here and there, put your expertise, where we can use it the most. Saying something on the sidelines ain't gonna do anything for anybody. I'm pretty sure with a lot of these companies, anybody would love to have you in their company where you can actually run a particular studio. If you really got it like that, why don't you band together a bunch of studios that closed down and bring them back based off your name value and actually produce some games? You got it like that, right? Produce some games. Because at the end of the day, I think that's all we really want anyway. It's just some games. That's just me. That's just all I have to say. Anything else you want to say on that?
I hate CEOs.
You hate CEOs. All right. Well, we can move on to the next title, or the next, I guess the next topic. It's not really a topic. The main topic I actually want to talk about is the VR thing, but we gonna wait on that. For right now, Call of Duty. Call of Duty, yes, that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will not launch on the Switch 2. I don't know. Is that news? I don't think that's news. Is that news?
Duh. It feels like kind of a duh statement.
I just feel like, are people on the Switch really calling for Call of Duty, though? I just don't feel like that's their crowd. I just don't.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think so.
I do think that, don't get me wrong, at this point in the game, while everything is going everywhere, there should be a Call of Duty on Nintendo, but I don't think that anybody who's really trying to play Call of Duty first at this point is not really looking for it on Nintendo. You know, I wouldn't. I would look for it on Xbox or PlayStation, or just straight up on PC with all the cheaters and everything, right? Um, but yeah, it's just not gonna launch right away. It might show up later, because when I see it's not launching day one, that tells me it's probably gonna come later. Call of Duty is a type of title that basically is out every year, right? There's multiple teams working on it every year. And they haven't been on the Switch like that at all, really. Um, and really, we've seen this with a lot of other titles anyway, where they just port stuff later. I think even with Switch's partner showcases from like last week or whatever, it was like, here's all the ports, everything that was not day one anyway. So it is what it is. I don't know what else to say on that, bro. I don't have a show this week. Do we have a show this week?
I don't know.
Like we do.
Like, yeah, I don't really think that. Yeah, there isn't really people. The only person that I can think of that's really looking forward to Call of Duty on the Switch is like a parent who doesn't really play video games and bought their kids a Switch. And now it's like, if the kids ain't home and they happen to be home that day, they can play something they'll actually enjoy. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, I don't think there's a rush to be out there.
But you know what? Like, the Switch community is playing things like Splatoon, and right now there's a big mixed crowd over that wheelchair basketball game.
I forgot about that.
Because the game's like demo just launched or something, or maybe it's the whole thing. I think it's the demo. Oh no, they had like a beta test for a weekend or whatever. Everybody is like complaining about how it hurts and how because you remember, you got to do the gimmick where you take both Joy-Cons and rub it against the table, but you got to do that constantly as you're rolling the wheelchair back and forth. And if you want to do, a shot, you have to do the hand motion to make the shot. So it's a constant workout game, basically. And so, maybe that could be a part 2 to this for the Switch content. So, like, yeah, that's basically not, it's not really being received very well. As a game, it seems like it's attempting to be a alternative to, what was that game called where you're playing soccer? No, the soccer game. What is that? It's soccer with the cars. What is that called?
Oh, Rocket League?
Rocket League. Yeah. It's supposed to be like an alternative to that in a way, but it's just not going over well. Now, if they release, like if they give you the option to do regular controls with a controller, I think it'll save the game, at least for the Switch crowd. But right now, it's like, it's a gimmick title for the Switch, but it's not hitting. I think it's funny because like you have to also have the setup for it too. Like my little setup over here where I'm at, my left monitor is my dominant gaming monitor, right? And if I was to have that game and do all the motions, I would have to move my keyboards back, move a bunch of stuff back so I could have enough room to do it. But I'm turned sideways where my right arm is right on the table. My left arm, I could probably only put my hand on the table, right? So it's already going to be harder for me to even do that for that game. I don't see anybody being able to play this game where you're doing that in front of a big screen, unless you're doing the motion like right on your lap. And I don't know if it might, it might track well on your lap, because I'm pretty sure they thought of it. But at the same time, I don't see how comfortable that is. Maybe this is the game for people in that community to begin with, but for everybody else, is like, maybe. I don't know. But you know what? Like, if you in like your chair and like my armrests, it looks like it's enough space for me to do the thing, but you still gotta reach back, and I can see like after so many of those, like I can already feel it while trying to do it. Like my shoulders and my back would kind of hurt a little bit.
So
It's
what
a
I'm
workout
hearing
game.
is people shouldn't underestimate those that are actually playing wheelchair basketball and say that it's easier. Because clearly it's not with everybody saying I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about a lot of people in the gaming community, um, they're used to playing games sitting in a chair anyway. So even something like VR, like we're going to get to VR in a second, but like that's a challenge in itself. But this interrupts the flow of things. I think people are just very used to just sitting there with a controller and calling it a day. But this kind of just changes all of that, right? You can't just sit there and do that. um, but anyways, it does still look like a interesting title, but I guess just because of the gimmick, that's what's gonna kill it. Um, is that something you think you would play?
I don't know. I might try it out.
Dragon, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, I might try it out eventually. It's not something that I'm like rushing to play.
Yeah. Anyways, game on the screen is Power Rangers Super Legends. This is their Megazord battle thing, which is pretty cool. I'm still really happy that the footage is really nice and clean like this. By setting up the settings and everything. But this is originally on the PS2. I think there is a GameCube version, and then there's like probably a original Xbox version. For anybody out there, you could probably find the ROM as well and play it on your Steam Deck. This is on my Steam Deck. But I do want to give an update, a very interesting update to the Power Ranger situation with these high-end Megazords and their bootleg counterparts. So if you remember me saying, I did take the chance to go and buy the Megazord. That, let me actually pull the name of it up real quick, and then I can X out of this website real quick. So for anybody who really wants this, remember or write this name down. I'm gonna say it slowly. The name is Explosion Model 25 centimeter. Well, it says cm scale. And then Metal Alloy Chokokin Mecha Robot Action Figure. And then it's got a dash, and then ZL dash 01, and then ZL01 again without the dash, and then the last part of the name is Beast God. Now, this was actually a bootleg of the anime style Megazord, of the original Megazord that was a Flames toy version of it. Like, they put it out, that company, and they were asking for $450 for this figure. And this thing was something that I think originally was announced like 2 years ago. It was delayed like half a year. We didn't know what was going on with it. But I do think the people that wanted it eventually got the product. And then they were basically like, oh, it's sold out. And then that was just the end of it, right? But a finite amount of people got this. And it really just disappeared at that point. We never really heard from it again. Then all of a sudden, this version comes out, the actual bootleg of it or KO of it, and some websites, there was websites that I had initially like promoted having this, says that the estimated time of arrival is September 2025, which is still around the corner. But some of the websites were charging like $130 to $140 for the figure, and then almost the exact amount for shipping and handling. which is like, okay, well then it's not it's not that much cheaper. You're really just only $100 away from what the original model was, right? Well, I found one website out of there, out of all of them, that basically said, here's the figure. It's not a pre-order. We got it right now, and you don't have to pay for shipping. And I didn't know this website at all, and I kind of took a chance, and so I just decided to do it because I have so much excess in money in these gift cards and stuff, and I'll get to that in a second. I decided to do it and take the plunge, and about 3 weeks later, this thing arrives. And so the website's name is Tommy Store. Tommy Store, and it's not like it's Tommy because of Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers. It's like, no, that's the actual store, and they sell like a bunch of other stuff too, from Transformers to like a bunch of different franchises. I don't think it's all knockoffs though. I think there's like some official stuff there as well, and then statues and stuff that really cost a lot of money. But they had this figure there, and then it comes in the mail. And I was kind of annoyed at first because the packaging, I don't know if you remember, I sent you the picture of that packaging. It came in the mail so beat up. Have you seen the movie Ace Ventura, Pet Detective with Jim Carrey? Like, you remember at the very beginning of that movie, it was like he had to deliver a package or something. He was just kicking it all over the place. It was all beat up and stuff, and that's how it looked. It just looked like it was destroyed on the inside. I think it was also during one of the rainy days and stuff, because you could tell kind of like the texture of it looked like it was rained on, and then it kind of dried back up a little bit, and it was just smashed in. And like, really, I was just like, what in the world? The Tommy Store gives you the ability to choose whether you want the box or no box. And in my head, I was just like, okay, I'll just pick no box because you're going to put it in a box anyway. I wanted to let you know, please get the box. I think they charge like $10 more if you get the box. If anybody wants to buy this thing, please get the box. I cannot stress that you need the box more, because at least it's a double layer of protection. Now, I will say nothing was broken. Everything was just fine. Because it was the bootleg though, certain things were connected in a way that would not have been connected if you had got the official thing. Because they connected certain things, I think, to fit in the box. Like, for example, part of the skirt of the Megazord is actually connected to the pink Zord, but when you get the box, it's already pre-connected to the red Zord, which everything kind of builds on, right? And that's not how it would have normally came. There are some joints and stuff that were like extra hard to get apart. And there was like the chest piece that I technically broke, but it's not really broken. It was just like the, the gray spiky part. Like, I kind of bended it in one spot, but like bent it back. And so it's still on there and you can't really tell unless I go pick at it and bend it again, but it's fine. If at some point it bends back out or something, I could probably super glue it back down. So it's not that big of a deal. But I will say that thing is right in scale with the original model. Is right in scale with any other Megazord you would probably have, which is like 8 or 9 inches tall or whatever. It's very bottom heavy, and the only reason I got it to stand up is because it's leaning on a Rubik's Cube that I have. But I bought a thing that might actually come today or tomorrow. You know how they have those things that's like it's like a weight, and then it like clamps onto the waist of a figure. Yep. So you can do like poses and stuff and hold it up in the sky or a little bit. Like, I bought one of those off of Amazon. It's not really that expensive. It was about like $20 something. And I plan to clamp that thing onto that and then probably have it in the back of my setup, like when I go back to doing videos on camera, somewhere in the background, because I don't have nowhere else to put it. But I will admit, the place that's called Tommy Store, they were legit. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They handed me the product. It was probably coming from Hong Kong, because I think that's where it started, and it was like, you know, the packaging was really beat up. When I pulled the little manual out of it, the manual was like kind of beat up as well, where the pages are kind of bent and stuff, and it was almost a little crumbled. And then the manual, unfortunately, is all in Japanese. They don't have like the English text. But just like anybody else, you're gonna pop on a YouTube video basically to see how you're supposed to transform it or whatever. And if you've been watching Power Rangers as long as you have, you know the gist of it, because it's going to do the same thing the show does, but with some tiny changes, because it's a whole different system, a whole different model, right? But yeah, man, it's once I got it up and got it going, it's really as good as it was from the pictures. Still got the guns, still got the wings, the posability and stuff, and all of that. I will recommend the $100 version. Now I know people in the, you know, we've been covering it now for a little while, technically on and off. People probably are gonna want the new Dragon Zord and the probably the original version of it with the Dragon Zord, to make sure that it all fits together. When I looked at certain videos where it's like certain tabs and stuff where you can tell it will connect with Dragon Zord, I do think this is going to connect with the official Dragon Zord. If you don't want to wait for like a KO model, I don't really. Now the Dragon Zord look cool, but it looked like a hot mess to me when you put everything together to do Ultra Zord. Like when you do the Dragon Zord, like the Dragon Megazord, you take away the Red Ranger Zord. It's like, that looks good. The rest of it, it just looked like it was too much going on. I'm like, bro, how is that thing even gonna? It already, I can't even get it to stand by itself. That's another thing. Like if you look at the original official one, like people can get it in a bunch of poses where it like stands correctly and stuff. I don't know if it's because of the red Zord's tail or whatever it is, but the weight of it makes it want to lean back. So unless it's leaning up against the wall or something, it's gonna always want to lean back and fall over. Now I'm a Rubik's Cube head, right? So I just got a bunch of those. So one of them I just kind of put behind it, which is just like a temporary solution. But really, you know, this thing is hard to pose and keep it like in place. You know, that's where the like paperweight is gonna come in later. I will say the little ins and outs of it, like the wing tips, the tusks and horns from, you know, the yellow and blue Zord are extremely sharp. It's to the point where you would almost get like a splinter or something from like the plastic, if that was possible. It pokes you and everything. It's very sharp. Way more sharper than I would have thought for a regular Zord. But yeah, very, very, very sharp. Do you remember the Ascension model that I want to say Hasbro came out with like back in like 2022?
Yep.
I didn't take it out to put them next to each other or anything, but I do think that model just as a figure is still technically better than this one. But this is still a very good looking one. You know, like Hasbro, or not Hasbro, but Playmates have their really oversized, expensive like Megazord in pieces that you can find in Walmart right now. I would say, because it costs pretty much the same thing to like find all 5 of those Megazords in Walmart and stuff, I would recommend you get this particular figure over that, because this one's quality, even as a knockoff, is way better than that Walmart one, and it has some style and it looks somewhat premium. You know what I mean? I mean, it really doesn't. I can't really tell that it's not the official thing. like it's really it looks exactly like the official thing. Only when I pull up videos, I can see the only difference is that the colors are slightly off. Like this one has like a darker blue, while if you were to go online and see the other ones, it's like the regular color blue that you would see off of Billy or whatever, right? Same thing go for yellow. It's like a darker yellow instead of just like bright yellow. You know what I mean? My bad to the people out there. I know this is a gaming podcast. We still got the Power Ranger game on the screen, but I did want to mention that. I just want to like give an update on that, because I am still going to be following the official release. Some websites do still have the bootleg of this, saying that it's not going to come out until September. The ones that's charging a extra $100, but the Tommy store had it right now. Now, yes, it's gonna come from Hong Kong, so if you were to get it right now, it's not gonna come out to September anyway. But at least you won't charge you like an extra $100. This was like 130 something, basically. Like I think it was like 136 and some change. I still did it through PayPal, still protected myself basically. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about that, man. Now, did you see any of those? You saw those pictures of the Thunderzord model, right? Now,
I did.
that Thunderzord model looks awesome. I am almost tempted to put a pre-order in for the 400 whenever they decide to drop the official release of it, because I know it's gonna be like one of those things where it's like, okay, this is 400 too, and it ain't gonna come out for like 8 months or something. I'm almost tempted, man. That one really looks good. I found out it separates into 5 Zords just like the other ones. That one looks amazing. If anybody out there, please look up Thunder Megazord and then look up Flames Toys Thunder Megazord, and you'll see like it's just an amazing stylized looking like samurai. And they just kind of threw the model out there right now. Like right now they're still kind of promoting the Dragon Zord or whatever, but that thing is out there. I know it's gonna be out there, and I really want to, get my hands on that one. Now, I was pretty much done with collecting Power Ranger stuff altogether as far as figures and everything. If we start seeing a trend of these like overly expensive Megazords come back, honestly, I really don't want to go past the Ninja Zords. Like I grew up with Zeo and a few other ones anyway, but I think just the Samurai and then the Ninja Megazords is really as far as I would want to go. I still do want to see that awkward robot looking movie version of the Ninja Zords, but I don't know, nobody has ever really tried to do it. There's like one person out there that's selling like a 3D printed model of it that looks really good, but he wants like $200 something, and I'm like, dude, you're not even official, with all due respect. But what's your thoughts on that Thunderzord?
No, the Thunderzord look really good. Yeah, I'm loving the detail. I'm loving the overly detailed ones. It's like it's something at least slightly different than just kind of the same look over and over being dropped.
Right.
So like having it overly detailed, I think is cool.
Now, as far as the Thunderzord, I'm pretty sure that one's probably going to be the $400 model, just like the other ones, $450. They may even ask for like $500. Would you consider taking the plunge on that one?
Nope.
You're still saying no matter what?
Nah, I'm not a big Megazord person. Like, while they all look cool and everything, and I think like they look awesome, and I was almost tempted to get this other one, like I'm still not gonna spend that much because I also just like I do like collectibles and statues and things like that.
Yeah.
So that would be the thing I considered, but I want to drop 500 on it.
Well, what about like the bootleg versions for like 150 or something like that?
I'd consider it more for those. So those are something I'd probably look into like a little bit more, even though I didn't go grab this beast guy thing. It would be something I would consider a lot more, like 150 over 400.
Yeah, I just did it because I had the exposable funds through.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I was gonna get to it later on, My job let me know yesterday they're gonna hand me another $100 worth of gift cards this upcoming week.
Hey,
Anyway, and yeah, more on that later. But I just wanted to mention that Power Rangers is on the screen. Every now and then, I'm gonna throw back on some more footage while we, talk about that. I think the next time I'm going to talk about this is when the bootleg comes out on the officially out on the other websites, because almost every website said it was September 2025. I have no idea how I was able to get mine. It was just some random website, bro. I took the plunge, and I guess nobody would do it. Like, it made no sense for me to do it when you think about it, but I just did it. And they were true to their word and handed me this figure that I have no place to put it whatsoever. Right now it's sitting right in my view in front of me, on top of my actual good PC. And clearly, whenever I want to turn that on, I have to take it off because it's covering the vents, along with this 12 by 12 Rubik's Cube that's holding it up. But anyways, we will revisit the topic when everybody else gets the bootleg and some of those videos start to come out. Right now, it's only a couple people doing videos on this figure from overseas, because I think this came out overseas months ago or something, but it was only being mentioned to come out in the States in September, so maybe that's what it was. So I do want to mention also Dragon Zord, the $450 or $400 model of Dragon Zord is supposed to be releasing July 2026. So it's like one of those things you could pre-order right now, but that's when they're supposed to come out with it, which is, it seems like so long from now, right? That's almost a full year. So it kind of disappoints me too, because I know they're going to be like, here's the Thunder Zord. Well, that's going to come out maybe 8 or 9 months later, and then the bootleg not for another 2 more years. I'm like, bro, do I got to really wait until I'm an old man for this thing? Like, no, I don't want to do that. But I'm excited about Power Rangers still releasing just content in general, for high ends and low ends. But yeah, don't sleep on the bootlegs. Did I mention to y'all that I bought a bootleg Megatron not too long ago based off of the Beast Wars movie? That bad boy was $26, and I did pay my own money with that. That was $26. And the official model, they rarely made it available. It was sold out. One of them things where you can only get it off of Amazon, and somebody wants $170 or something for it. I'm like, bro, why didn't y'all make it available in the store for everybody? As crazy as this Megazord is, I do think this is still another thing that should be in the stores. And I do want to mention one last thing, and I'll move on. I was in Walmart earlier today, and one of the things that they have on a little, I almost want to say billboard, but it's not a billboard. But you know how they had those big poster boards that they advertise and stuff? This one Walmart that I go to has this one advertisement for the Switch 2, saying that this will be available on June 5th, and I think that's when it actually launched. But they have that in that store, and I'm like, well, we're in the middle of August getting ready to go to September, and that was something you've never put on the shelf, and it's been a thing that's right in the front where everybody comes into Walmart every day. Now, most people going in there are going in there for other things, but I'm like, you got this in the front of your store advertising that this is going to be in here, and then it's not. And not only that, I think Best Buy did something similar. I'm like, these products should be in the store from day one. And why do you have advertisements in here if you know you're not going to have it in here from day one? I have yet to see a Switch 2 just sitting inside of the store, and they should be, but they're not. Have you seen it? I don't think you've seen it either, right? Nobody's seen it. It's not in the store. But we're talking about a release that came out at the start of June, bro. We like getting ready to be out of the whole summer, and it's like this is something you would have gave to all the kids. You know, they all about to go back to school, and you ain't even had a product out there for them. So I just feel like that's unacceptable. I just wanted to mention that. All right, we can get into the middle portion of this where we usually talk about Epic Games and a lot of their free games and releases. I do want to mention real quick before I go into the Epic Games part. This is kind of like related because usually I talk about sales as well. My apologies for not bringing this news to everybody when when it was fresh, but apparently Nixie, the people who created their Joy-Cons that are called the Hyperion Pro Joy-Cons or whatever, the ones that I got, I think you have as well, they had a sale where they were saying buy one get one free, basically, where you could get the main Joy-Cons and then you can get like a secondary set of Joy-Cons that are like a little bit more like bigger, more controller based. When you put it together as a controller, it looks a lot like the HoriPad Split Pros that are inside of Walmarts and stuff. Like, they were saying like buy one get one. It was $159.99 value. But you could buy basically the regular Joy-Cons that we have, and then they would have threw the other ones in there. I think they were running that promotion most of last month, like about almost a month, but I think they just stopped. I checked this morning. I didn't see it nowhere. And so I was also kind of annoyed because I was like, I paid this money for, I could have had a whole second one, right? Did I show you that? I was like, dang. It's like we could have had a whole.
I was like, if I would have waited a little bit, I could have got two.
Yeah, we could have had a whole second one. Now, interesting enough, like when they first introduced those Joy-Cons, they were selling them at a discount price. It's funny, I'm gonna say it's a discount price, but it was $79.99, right? Now they charge $99.99 for that. But when they reintroduced or introduced that price, that's when they did that sale, probably to like ease the blow a little bit. It's like, well, now you want $20 more, and it was like, well, we'll give you this whole other one for free. And they did that for, I want to say, late July till now, and then they just kind of stopped. So yeah, my bad for not letting nobody know. But I say that too, just to let y'all know to definitely look out for them on their website, because I have a feeling they're going to do something similar to this going into Black Friday time, because they did a Halloween sale and they did a Black Friday sale. And you could probably look around that time frame and you might see this deal again. But I do recommend those Joy-Cons if you are someone who can't get a Switch 2, because every store that advertises that is in the store when it's not in the store. So you just got your Switch 1, you could probably upgrade your Switch 1 with this and, maybe update your screen protector or something, and it'll probably feel like new. I think those Joy-Cons are still phenomenal, honestly.
Absolutely. 100% better. Like, they're so much more comfortable. They fit in the hand a lot better. They respond better. I don't have to worry about the Joy-Con drift anymore. Which I didn't even realize some of the Joy-Con drift until I was playing Pokemon. And I sat the controller down for a second and my character just started walking.
Yeah.
But yeah, not anymore. Not an issue. Like, yeah, if you can invest, especially, I don't even really feel like it's that much of an investment because it's the same price as Nintendo's Joy-Cons, and it's just to be so much vastly better.
It's a really, really advanced. They've really done a really good job on it. My only critique, really, funny enough, is not even really a critique of the thing. I just feel like they missed the mark without coming out with this. I want to say in 2020, like during the lockdown or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if they could have had this together way back then, that would have been such a perfect execution. But now, with the Switch being now considered a last gen system, the Switch 2 being now the current gen system, on paper at least, it's like, well, everybody else who's really caring about this, they've kind of moved on, because really only the hardcore is going to find this. Because again, this, just like any other product that we talked about, you're just not in the stores for the people to see it.
In all fairness, though, I don't think that's even made here. Is it? Is Nixie made here?
I don't know, maybe not. But you know what? We got, how many products we got that say is made in China?
Yeah, you're right.
Everything made in China. But yeah, I feel like they would have made, like, really executed a much higher response from the community if they did that in 2020, or they made it in store. But I do still recommend their brand over the Hori pads that you can find in the store. I would say go to their website. This is Nixie, and find their controllers. I still also recommend their GameCube controller that turns into Joy-Cons as well. I still use those on the Switch itself to do GameCube content, and then also I use it on the Steam Deck with stuff like this right here. Even though this is the PlayStation version, but anyway, this game right here. But yeah, Epic Games, I went too far off a tangent. Epic Games comes out with games brand new every week. Actually, I'm sorry, not brand new, but games that are given away for free every week. Sometimes they're brand new, but one of the games that was given away for this week from now until August 21st is Hidden Folks. I don't know too much about it. Go check it out. It's free, available right now. The next game, I still think this is a funny title. Totally Reliable Delivery Service Standard Edition. Also available right now. You can claim that under Epic Games. Remember how I always say you do not need a credit card or anything like that on file. You just need to create a profile, and then you can claim all the games here. And even if you don't have a PC, once you get one, you can log in, and then boom, you can play all this stuff. Rogue Ally is already set up for you to do that, right? All right, from August 21st to August 28th, one of the games, how do you say this? Cam Iru? Did I say that right?
I don't know, maybe.
You ain't got it up in front of you. Kamearu. However you pronounce that bad boy.
Yeah,
that will be, yeah, Cameroon. It will be available at from the 21st to the 28th. And then Strange Horticulture. Almost sound like a horror game. Strange Horticulture. Horticulture. Yeah. Also available from the 21st to the 28th. Keep an eye out for these things. Don't forget to claim them because they're free. You might find some cool games here every now and then. I remember one of the games that I had, even with a lot of footage on this channel at one point, was the game called Hue, which was like a colorful little maze kind of thing. Very relaxing. It had a very good soundtrack too. And I played it to completion and was done with it. It was cool. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of titles out there that you might like. Also, there is my co-host was letting me know there was some Amazon Prime games coming out. Or let me know what's going on with these Prime games.
All right, so already available. You can get Civilization 3, Thief Definitive Edition if you don't already have it. The Academy, the first riddle, which is like a puzzle game where you're trying to solve stuff. And then on August 14th, you'll be able to get Fate, the Traitor's Soul, Filthy Animals Heist Simulator. Which is weird because that says like August 14th, but I feel like that's available now. But 10 Hearts and Necro King. which I also think is available now. I'm pretty sure I just added it. And then
Okay.
August 21st, Labyrinth City, Pierre the Maze Detective, Silverbox Classics, which brings back a bunch of what's called the Dragonlance role-playing games. And then Heroes of Loot 2 on August 28th, along with Fantasy Empires and City Legends, The Ghost of Misty Hill Collector's Edition.
Okay. And so you just need Amazon Prime, right?
Yep, Amazon Prime and some of them are connected through Epic, so you add it and it just adds to your Epic store, like Filthy Animals. Some of them is directly through Amazon Prime, like the Academy, and then some of them is through GOG. The majority of them are through GOG. So you want a GOG account as well.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely look out for all of that. I also want to say this is so funny because this has got to be the most obnoxious first world problem you could ever have.
Okay.
But I'm gonna explain. My job, my place of employment, everybody wants to know where I work, I'm sure, keeps handing me all these gift cards, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do, because originally I was like, okay, I'm gonna save these just to buy Switch 2 titles, and the cards are coming to me way quicker than the Switch 2 titles are coming out. But I did take 2 cards. I took a $50 card and a $25 card, and it was kind of a process. I actually went through and bought a gift card for Walmart, and then took that Walmart card, added it to my account online, and then from there I pre-ordered the Switch 2 version of the game Pokemon ZA. I'm like a gabillion Pokemon games behind, but that was the original point of some of these things, was to buy those games. So I actually did. Apparently the Pokemon game is set to release October 20th. They told me my version will ship out October 17th. You know what's funny about this obstacle course? Best Buy could not do it because they couldn't swipe the card for some reason. I actually went there first, because if you pre-order this game at either Walmart or Best Buy, you'll get like an extra little thing. If you get it from Best Buy, they'll give you like a whole little mat. I don't know how big this mat is, but I was like, okay, that mat looks better. But if you pre-order from Walmart, they'll give you like a pin or whatever, and it's like a random pin of one of the Pokemons. Okay. I had to do it with Walmart because Walmart is the only place that's actually able to swipe the card so I can use them. But apparently you can't pre-order in the store. You got to pre-order online, because that's just a whole thing. And Best Buy actually lets you pre-order in the store, but then they couldn't use the card. Like I really did an obstacle course just to do this, but
Jeez.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the Pokemon game from Walmart. That would ship out to me in October, along with like probably a pen or whatever. But yeah, first world problems, man. Nobody else has this problem, but I wanted to mention, going into our last topic, unless you have another topic real quick.
Nope.
I'm thinking about actually taking a bulk of these cards and purchasing a PSVR 2. I'm really on the fence because there's really no library there that I want. But I literally got to do something with it. Some of them, the earlier ones expires in November, so I have to convert those real quick. I do know I'm going to be using some of them to definitely buy DLC content going forward. I already bought the DLC content for the Remnant 2 game. And I'm going to buy, I think I bought some DLC content already. I got to check. From the Switch games, like the Super Smash Brothers. I didn't have all the fighters until like now. I like just bought all the fighters. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting the PSVR 2. I did do some extra research a lot of the stuff that I was mentioning that the MetaQuest does, as far as like mixed reality, creating screens within, creating like big screens and everything within the headset. The VR2 doesn't do that. The PSVR2 does not do any of that. It is a strictly VR headset for the VR games on the PlayStation, which I don't have a problem with, especially now that I have like a headset that does one thing. Like they could do separate things, but I do want to put that out there for people so they're not misinformed and get the PlayStation one because they like PlayStation, but like expect it to do all that extra stuff. You know what's actually funny? I watched a video of a dude who was explaining why he doesn't recommend the PSVR 2, and one of the reasons was because you can't see like adult content or something on there. And I was just like, dude, like, are you serious right now? Like, I wouldn't have made no video like that. But there's also, for anybody out there, this is important. If you wear glasses, currently the MetaQuest got you covered. They have the adapter for it, but there's no adapter for the PlayStation VR 2. There is enough room for you to just wear it with your glasses, but you do run the risk of your glasses rubbing up against the lenses, which will possibly cause a scratch on either the VR's lens or your actual glasses. So that's something you got to be aware of. But there's also some lens adapters where you can send your prescription information to like a website. I forgot the name of the website, I'm sorry, but they'll send you lenses that you could put into the headset itself so that you don't have to wear your glasses, which solves the issue. And that's one of the things I'm thinking about doing. The PSVR 2 obviously still needs to have the cord connected to the actual PlayStation, where the MetaQuest, there is no cord. There's no need for a cord unless you actually go get the cord for the PC if you want it to, just to play some of your VR games that might be under Steam. Other than that, if you just go under the MetaQuest itself, you don't need a core. So that's something you just need to be aware of. Yeah, and that's all I really wanted to mention on that. Now I'll just talk about the actual showcase. Did you see this showcase? The VR showcase.
Yeah, I watched it.
You watched it? Why you say it like that, man? You ain't like it, man? You ain't like what was there?
It was fine. I don't have a VR and I don't plan on getting one, so it's kind of pointless for me.
You gotta get one, man. You got to get into the action, man. Listen, man. Like the people get the MetaQuest one so you can see all the adult content, and then get the PlayStation one so you can just play like 5 games. How about that?
I'm good.
You good? Oh man, come on, man. They had a show that was about an hour and a half long, technically. But the pre-show portion of that was like 20 minutes. There was about a good 10-minute plus of a countdown with some like music or whatever. The pre-show portion of it, that was 20 minutes, I really grabbed one thing. It was a game called Rager. It was almost like a Beat Saber shooter-ish type title. Cool thing about it is they had a demo that I was able to go on the app and just like actually like on my phone like claim, and it was trying to like already download it to the headset, which I thought was kind of cool. But at the very least, I wish list the full game, and I clicked the claim on the demo. From the pre-show, did anything look cool to you? Anything stand out at all for you?
Not from the pre-show, no.
Not from the pre-show. Yeah, I only had just the one. Now, the beginning of the show, the regular show, I gotta say it was a couple good ones at the very beginning. Like they started off really nice, and I really wasn't expecting that, because usually beforehand I would talk trash because I would be like, "Oh, here comes all these Rayman looking characters where all they do is show you like the hand and nothing else, and the feet and like no legs, and it's like extra cartoony." It wasn't really like that for this. the very next thing that got my attention, and I'm like really seriously thinking about buying right away, was a game called Street Gods. Right away, they was playing off of like Thor's hammer, where you can just like play and control his hammer and everything in VR. But it was like an actual gold hammer. And it's really cool because I'm kind of doing something like a cool project with the Thor hammer right now for like my job. So when I saw that, I was like, oh shoot, so I hit the wish list right away on that, man. Did you see that game?
I did. It looked cool.
It looked very cool. I was just like, I was not expecting that. I was just like, yo, what is that? Yo. So yeah, I hit the wish list on that bad boy. And I do want to spread awareness of a title that if anybody is like huge fans of like MCU and Thor and stuff, there is an indie game that I plan to buy this Black Friday that's called Tiny Thor. You'll find it on Steam. It works well with something like the Steam Deck or the Rogue Ally, or it's like a handheld type thing because it's a 2D type game. But you play Thor if he was like basically a kid. And he has Mjolnir and everything, and you just play through that nice little 2D action adventure type game. Definitely check that out, and check this out if you have a headset. Street Gods. Now the funny thing about that, they did not make any mention to Thor by name at all, but you can clearly tell that they were like playing off of his like hammer and stuff. They even mentioned like be a god and all this other stuff, but they didn't mention Thor. And it made me think for a second, like is that kind of Power World territory, or is that like the Horizon Zero Dawn game territory? Like
not at all.
Not at all.
No, Thor's a public like figure. They don't own it.
Okay.
It's Norse mythology, right? Like that was part of the reason why for God of War, Ragnarok, they went with the traditional look for Thor, where he was like chunky and like big. He didn't look like Chris Hemsworth, because Thor is a public character. There's Marvel's Thor, and then there's just the Thor. Everyone's allowed to use it.
God of War Ragnarok has Thor as well. If you're a fan, go out there and play that game. Play the first one first. Play 2018 first, and then play that. And get some Thor up in there as well. Pretty cool character. I like Thor. I like Thor right now. I'm on a Thor tip right now. But yeah, next thing. Are you telling me? Did you see anything after that or before that?
The next game for me was Reach VR.
I put Reach as well. I wrote that one down. I have that on my wish list. I want to say real quick, one thing that I really like about VR, the space that it's in right now. Most of these games are $30 titles. These are not 70, 80, none of that. It's just simple $30 titles. You play one, you enjoy it, and you go straight to the next one. It's like, VR right now, even though it's extra niche, and maybe for like the PSVR 2, for example, there's not that many titles out there. It's like when they do come out, they're not expensive. So, but Reach was one of them that I saw. The very next one that I saw was called Of Lies and Rain.
That was also my next one.
Yeah, how you feel about that one?
That one looked really cool. So I think we talk about it. So like Reach seemed like it was a lot going on. Real quick from that one where it was like almost like platforming and like everything's coming at you and attacking, and I really like the weapon switching for that one. And then from Of Lies and Rain, like it just looked like a real cool sci-fi kind of shooter.
Yeah. I plan to start getting, because right now when I use the VR headset, it's primarily with Game Pass. It's primarily to have like little windows of social media going while like maybe I wash dishes or something. But I haven't really dived into VR, right? But I plan to get a bunch of titles. Um, the Beat Saber and Batman game that's on MetaQuest are like the obvious first two. I'm gonna be honest, it's because it's Batman, and it was because Beat Saber is always the one everybody keep talking about. $30 titles, but I plan to get them on Black Friday. Hopefully, it's a little bit cheaper. But yeah, the next thing that I actually looked at, I'm a little confused because I don't know if it's a full game or not, but it's Ready or Not VRO mod.
It's a mod that turns Ready or Not into a VR game.
Right, but it's interesting because there was a couple other titles there where they told the people out there like, hey, let's work together as a community to put this together. So
this one they straight up, the dude said it's a mod that's gonna be free when it comes out.
Yeah, I actually bought that game because of some coworkers, but I wouldn't mind trying it that way. When I actually play it. But yeah, I have it on Steam already, so this will be something I might try when we get to it. The next thing I actually wrote down was called World War Z, the VR version. I don't really want to play that too much because we played World War Z, but if somehow, some way, somebody gives it away or whatever, I'll try it. Or if it just comes dirt cheap, I'll try it. But how'd you feel about that one? Did it look different?
Well, it looked okay. I mean, it was just more World War Z.
Yeah. Funny enough, that was it for me. Did you have anything else you saw?
This might have been on my list before for a VR game, but ExoShock.
ExoShock, I think I did see that at some point. Yeah.
So that one looked cool. It's another, shooter, where they got like super suits.
I was kind of trying to stick away from all the shooters. They just had to like really stand out to me. Because even in VR, when I see shooter, I just think a shooter, you know?
Yeah.
I did want to mention though, there was one game that kept showing up. I don't know if you've seen this, because it showed up. It seemed like every 15 minutes or so, they kept coming back to this game, and it was called Glass Breakers Champions of Moss.
Now, I just, unless it's because it's related to the game Moss, which is a VR game, I don't understand why this was VR. It was basically like a tabletop game with glass pieces, but like,
yeah,
it just didn't feel like it needed to be VR. It felt like just a game that you could just play.
That's how it looked to me, and they kept re-showing it. They showed it so much.
Matter of fact, both shows, that was the developer show, was only talking about that game.
Yeah, and I was just like, how much money did they spend to advertise for this? Because they was trying their hardest, and I'm gonna be honest, I was not interested. I just wasn't. I had no, like, there's no disrespect to the game. I just was not interested in it because it didn't really feel like it was supposed to be VR. But they showed it so many times, and it's like an action strategy game. But I had no no interest. I'm sorry, I really didn't. But like, yeah, they kept going back to it. And maybe if you're into strategy or something like that, this might be appealing to you if you have a VR headset. But yeah, I didn't like it, unfortunately. But yeah, it was shown like 4 or 5 times, and I don't never really see that in gaming showcases, period. Like I've said before, like, here's a game that's been shown at a different showcase, and now they're showing it again at this showcase, and it's showing up at multiple showcases. But never do I see.
What I think is because Moss was a really popular VR game.
Yeah, maybe that was
where
it.
you're kind of like watching through as a mouse, and I think it even got a Moss 2. And then because this thing had Moss in the title, it might just be like a whole world. So it might be still a very niche thing, but probably popular for those with long-standing VR stuff.
Like some sort of spinoff or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was the show. I do want to mention one final thing. When I was watching on YouTube, you know how they have the suggestions on the right?
Yeah.
There was a game that was shown, hilarious enough. It was called Blood Trail, and this is something you can wishlist on Steam. And I believe they're going to want $24.99 for it, but you need to have a VR headset of some kind, right, to play it. But the premise of the game is it's a shooter, and you're literally in a crack house and you shooting crackheads, and it's like extra degenerate, basically. And those crackhead people are coming at you and stuff like that. And in order for you to like replenish your health, you literally pull out a crack pipe and quite literally you smoke it. And
So
I'm
crackhead
hoping,
versus crackhead.
it's crazy. You're in a crack house and stuff. It's like crazy, and it's like extra gory too. Like when you're like basically like unaliving the people. So I saw that. I wish listed it on Steam. Easter egg for people out there. Go take a look at it. It's hilarious. I think it's still in early access basically, but it's a $24 title. And you know what's cool about it? Like just like I said before, like these games are not that expensive in that particular niche. But it's still an incredible niche right now. To me, I'm still blown away at some of the things that I see and how it works and everything. But yeah, like the games at the very least is just really cheap. And technically, the headsets are too. Like the VR2 was supposed to be like $550 when it first came out, and then it got that like $200 price cut because didn't nobody buy it, right? But the MetaQuest was always in that $300 range, and then you have like higher end models that just have like more memory or whatever. But you can get one that's really low, basically like the 3S that I have, at least the white version. Um, One last thing, and then we can get out of here. I did notice that the MetaQuest, that's the Xbox edition, is actually available if you look for it under Best Buy. It might be one of those things where it's not in the store, unfortunately, but you can order it off of Best Buy's website for the same price of $400, and you can get the black version that comes with, you know, the Game Pass and the MetaQuest Pass and like an extra controller and all of that stuff, all for $400. It's available there. It's not available under the MetaQuest website anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, that's really it. That's it for this week. Anything else that you would like for us to mention, go over, anything?
No, I ain't got nothing.
All right, my co-host is going to take a week off. We're both going to take a week off because my co-host wants to dive deep in that Resident Evil 7 and get that footage back for us just in time next week. 6-hour game. He got plenty of time to do it. He got 2 weeks to do that 6-hour game. And then he's going to bring us back some really good Resident Evil footage.
Just lied to the people. That's
all right. Well, like, comment, share, subscribe. I will catch y'all later. Peace.